So this is energy update. So much to share with you right now, and I'm just going to dive in with it because yeah, I've been very, very quiet on social media because I've been spending this time to just integrate what's been coming in. Even now, it's a struggle to actually be on this video, but I was like, I need to get out there because there's just so much to share. But I also see that other people that kind of like do videos and share stuff and everything like that on social media, I've also noticed they've been like, oh my God, I've been needing to share this, but it's just trying to find a time where I feel well enough. So, there is a lot going on, but it's all for good. It's all for good. So I'm going to dive right in because as always, Marie has a list. Okay. So let's talk about the chaos. There's a lot of chaos energy around us at the moment, and you might find that that's basically people, places, situations, even the bigger world issues, right? Current mood in South Africa, Cape Town, there is strikes. It's chaos. The roads are chaos because there's no taxis and everything like that, and it's just nuts, But having said that, let's rewind to 11/11 because that's kind of like where we kicked off on this, So I personally, I'm going to share my story and it may be reflective of what you've been going through as well. I landed into Zimbabwe on 11/11 pretty much, and I walked straight into a very interesting video play out. Now, where we're at right now, okay, is we are clearing the density, the residual, the core of your soul issue, okay, your soul stuff. Like we've been doing all the ancestral stuff and to do with relationships. Now the stuff that we're being shown is really deep and it's kind of like dark and heavy, but it's just like clear. It's like boom, it's there. And it's what I call like the soul shadow. So we're integrating the shadow whole time, getting right with our mission and purpose, and activating our gifts and abilities requires us to clear the shadow of that, because where we're at right now, the darkness that's being shown or the density that's being shown is kind of like the opposite to your superpowers. And what I mean by that is what will be playing out for you right now, if you hold an awareness on it, is like your signature shadow, meaning the stuff that's playing out, will be indicative of what your superpowers, your path, your purpose is. For example, I was very much blasted with dark magic and medicine. Now, isn't that quite interesting? Because Marie works with Heka Codes, Egyptian magic and medicine. So I cannot hold the light in its highest form with that until I integrate that shadow self of myself. Meaning like I haven't just been this light being, I've also been a dark being, and that's okay. Do you know what I mean? So it's basically accepting all parts of self so they can go through that upgrade. And that is what's happening with all of us. So maybe rewind, if this is resonating with you, maybe rewind even to times before the 11/11 where things have started to come up and show you signature shadow will be the opposite to what your superpowers are. So if you are somebody who's just had loss all the way through your life, guess what? Guess what you can do? You're obviously like an abundance master. Do you know what I mean? Because loss is the opposite to abundance. Do you know what I mean? So, there could be like a lack of love, really, really horrible abuse in your life. Maybe you are here to basically activate heart portals on the people to know unconditional love. So you came into this life with conditional love, which was horrible, maybe bad parents, abuse, whatever. And you're thinking you're just like, it's just shit that's happening to you. It's actually not. It's a reflection of what your superpowers are and what your mission is, which is basically everything is a divine opposite. Everything. It's, as above, so below. So within, so without. The dark, the light. It's all got to be there, but it needs to be upgraded into its highest aspect. So we never get rid of the dark. We just need the dark to be in its highest aspect, which is essentially where creation comes from, rather than our relationship with the dark being like, well, this is where bad things happen to me. This is where the boogeyman lives. This is where demons live. It's just your own demons. You just got to get right with them and go, oh, hey, it's actually me. Do you know what I mean? It's not coming at me, bro. That's actually mine. Oh, okay. You know what I mean? It's what they call taking responsibility. So, you'll find this. So it's a very, very interesting movie that's being played to you right now. It may be that you're not even going through this and you're just up there with the stars and the sparkles, which means thank you from me to you, because some of us have to hold it down for those that are in the shadow. So when we're in the light, you'll probably be going into the shadow, and there's this tag team approach that we've got going on. So it's all good. So chaos. Now I want to bring the god Set into the chaos energy because he is the god of chaos. He is the god of storm. So, always, Marie's always going to bring an Egyptian god or goddess into it so we can actually work with them, so we can actually get to that higher plane. So the god Set, he is regarded as the god of storm. He is the one that will show you, he shows you your shadow in people because they're a divine reflection of you. So if somebody comes up to you and you want to punch him in the throat, maybe don't punch him in the throat. Maybe look at what they're triggering with you with, and maybe look at that and go, oh, you're my divine reflection. Thank you for that, because whatever you're pissed off with them about, you got inside of you. It may be toxic feminine stuff, and you look at her and go, oh, she's not very nice. But actually come away from the story and go, why is she coming at me? Because it's a reflection of you, and somebody else might be like kind of like really angry and it really pisses you off. And they're like, they don't need to be angry like that. Chances are you've got anger in yourself. So these are all just gifts. There's always a gift in the shadowy trigger points. There's always a gift because that's why they're there. Okay. So chaos, going back to the god Set, he is going to reflect in you where your shadow is just within your own situation and also people, places, situations. So work with him. And also as well, he's a bit of a trickster, so he plays with you a little bit, but if you work with Set, he's really powerful, and I like him a lot because he brings a lot of stuff into balance. So let's talk about chaos. Really, what is chaos all about? Chaos is creation. Creation is basically comes from creation, comes from chaos. God, there's too much ka in there. Anyway, I'm losing my words now. So creation comes from chaos. Okay. So it's a good thing. And it's all part of the alchemical kind of like process, because we're all conscious creators. We're all alchemists basically. And from lots of different frequencies, we can create some really, really cool stuff. You don't just go in and make a cake and just put like chocolate sprinkles in there, because you need a cake mix to go with it. Do you know what I mean? There's lots of ingredients that goes into creating something very sublime and tasty and lovely and nurturing, because it's a cake. So it's the same with your creations. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of everything in there, and chaos is just one of those ingredients that we can actually work with. And my guides this morning kept saying to me, like, work with the chaos, take control of the chaos. So what usually happens when chaos comes in, we hide under the desk, we put our helmets on, which we all know Marie does a lot of, and then we kind of like hide until the storm passes and then we come out. We're not doing that anymore, because now we understand that that's not a threat. We understand that the chaos is actually something we can work with. So we integrate it and we bring it into our reality, and we use it to move energy around and like do magical Merlin stuff with it. Do you know what I mean? So chaos is an integral factor. So this is the thing that tells us that we're shifting from fear into power, because no longer do we feel the need to hide because there's a big storm blowing in. In fact, we basically kick our shoes off and run out there and go and play. And that's a very, very, very important point, that to show you how much you have grown, expanded, become more of a master at all of this, which is what our whole lifetimes are about. Whereas before, go back 6 months, go back a year, when this chaos used to come in, we used to like vibrate in fear and go, oh my God. And we would think that we are the movie. So we basically get involved in the drama. But now we can actually see that there's some space between us and the movie, and we can actually watch it playing out. We're not part of it. What do they say? Be of the world, not in it. Okay. So that's kind of like where we're at. So now, it doesn't matter if you get pulled out of your center into the chaos. The difference is, as you've realized that's happened. Even 6 months ago, we didn't know that happened. We believed the hype and we thought, wow, this is our lives. Oh my God, I'm going to die. Hence why we went into a dark night of the soul. But now it's different. There's an awareness, which means you have grown in your power. You have more access to your center, and you are that big old oak tree with your deep roots, and you're not, we will not be moved. You know what I mean? So it's a really, really good way to look at yourself, to understand that even though it's still a bit shady, like today, the energy for me, this side, it's chaotic, and I'm just basically going super slow today, because it's like, it's not a day for me to get out there and make things happen. You know what I mean? And this is the difference. We become a lot more wiser with our energy now. Instead of going, no, we need to push on through, doesn't matter, and give ourselves constant nosebleeds and actually achieve nothing. We know when it's the time to kind of pull back and allow things to happen, which moves me on to my second point, which is the upgrades we're going through. like we've been upgrading over our life, and all of these conversations, or this conversation I have with you, it's been happening. But this one we're in now, 11, like the month 11. Okay. It is basically happening where it's the upgrade. It's the upgrade, and it's going to continue to embody and really come into its fullness. I have been through probably one of the biggest upgrades. Like I'm still very unwell now because I'm going through like my chest. I've been coughing. This has been clearing. My ears are very blocked because now, even though they're blocked, I actually can receive channel from a brand new collective who have upgraded all of my work, everything. And it's been quite scary at the same time because this propulsion of power has come in through this upgrade. And it's been required all my attention to just be still and allow it to move through. Even now, I kind of want to get stuck in and do some work, but all I can manage today is this video, which is really important to get this out because we need to share. And yeah, so the same will be happening to you as well. You know, those of you like, you know, that kind of like meditate and everything like that, you must have felt the difference. Even if you're like me, quite unwell and like kind of in bed more than you are out of it, you know, like, it's like you must have felt the difference. We've been in this game long enough to know that we are definitely being upgraded, you know? Things are changing. People are talking about being propelled into a different, like completely different world now. They are talking about that now. It's happening, believe it, but also respect the transition by being super still. Giving your body what it needs. I held a ceremony yesterday, a cacao ceremony, and you know, I've held some powerful ceremonies in my time, but yesterday knocked me off my feet, and I was the space holder. I had to just integrate all day because I was like, whoa, the power that came through the blue lotus and the cacao was like phenomenal, and I had to just go, right, all I can do today is lie down. So that is an indication to show how much higher frequency that we're living in now, because I haven't held a cacao ceremony for a while. So I felt the difference, let me tell you. So for those of you out there that actually have bodies of work out there, even business owners, whatever, just call it your conscious creations. Out there, you're going to be seeing a significant change. So there may be bodies of work that you've been working on. They will also go through a significant upgrade. So don't be freaked out if your original plan starts being changed and tweaked and you're like, oh my God, it appears to look like it's falling apart. It's actually not. It's falling apart to be upgraded. Okay. And that is what I've been speaking about for a long time now. And we all kind of expected this transition to happen. But when it starts happening in real time, you're like, oh my God. And that actually comes into our physical vessels, because we're also a conscious creation. Remember, we are a conscious creation. Our vessels are also breaking down to be upgraded. But this shift since 11/11 has been the most significant upgrade. Like, we're being now plugged into the consciousness, which is literally your signature frequency. So I've been plugged into a consciousness which is through Thoth, the same consciousness that wrote the tablets of light and all that kind of thing. And it's like, it's golden. It's very golden. And I've not connected with them like this before. So if you are like a channeler or you feel frequency in a certain way, you're going to have the same thing happen to you now. You're going to be plugged into like a much larger frequency. And when that happens, it takes a little bit of a while to kind of like integrate that and get used to that. Like, my ears are still like learning how to work again, because sometimes they're a bit blocked, then they're popping. All sorts of things going in as I'm starting to tune into that big shift. So massive things are going on. So support yourself. And that's where the chaos is all coming in. That's why everything's changing. So it's even happening with the frequency. It feels a little bit chaotic. And we're going to be in this now until December, because remember, we're coming up to the new moon now. We've got more moons coming, and we've got the 12/12. We've got the 21st of December as well. So it's just going to keep on rolling. So disorientation is the word I want to use, but not in a traumatic sense. Everywhere I'm looking around and trying to tap into, nothing is familiar. And I remember feeling this when I worked with ayahuasca extensively, back to back to back to back. I stripped away so much so rapidly that when I actually came out of ceremony and I came home, I was kind of like a little bit traumatized, because I was like, that nothing's familiar. I don't know any of this. And it feels a little bit like that. So I'm also feeling that uncomfortability of just like, oh my God, this feels a little bit like, ooh, like, am I okay? I'm like kind of like scared. excited, scared, excited, scared, excited. And when we say, oh, you're just scared of your power, I never really understood that until now, because now I'm like getting everything I've ever wished for. There's a sense of like, oh, this, I feel really vulnerable. So I have to kind of just sit with this. And it's a bit like being like a newborn foal, but are you though? Do you know what I mean? So it's like finding your feet again on the next level. We'll be fine, but we just need to acknowledge that these little wobbles and everything like that, nothing's going on. You're just coming into somewhere which is absolutely brand new. Your eyes, my eyes have been terrible, like these eyes, third eye on fleek, but these eyes are like what I'm seeing and everything like that, they've never been worse. And my ears are attuning to the new earth, my eyes are attuning to the new earth. So it's happening, guys. Do you know what I mean? So for that process to happen, super still, support you, do what's right for you in every single moment. So that was my blast of energy update. And to support your process, you may still feel called to work with the Heka Codes. Now, we've spoken about the Heka Codes before. Like 3 sessions, powerfully encoded to assist you in many different ways. If you've got like something you're working on, like a project or something like that, but also as well, just to activate your gifts. The Heka Codes can be to actually bring your gifts online and to lay into dormancy that which you don't need by working with the 3 gods, Sia, Hu, and Heka. They can still, because you are a conscious creation. It's not just about a body of work. You are a conscious creation. So I actually have 1 space left, which is basically my December spot. So if you feel that you want to work on something now, getting ready to action something for the new year, now would be the time to do it as we go into stillness, as we go into Christmas and everything like that. So I have 1 more spot left. So if that is calling you, get in touch and let's do this. And yeah, as always, just love and light, man, and just keep it all about you. That's it, and that's all. Now, that's all I'm going to say. My Wi-Fi is starting to drop now. I think that's spirit saying, right now you're done. So Heka Codes, like and subscribe, because there's going to be more videos like this and meditations and things like that. You know, go to the link in the Linktree link, because that's going to take you through to the newsletter, because now all of my free offerings and things like that, there's a Heka Codes one coming up. I'm building a new community as well, which hasn't launched yet, but it will do, and I'll announce it in the newsletter. You'll get directed from there. So I mean, there's much coming through. We are all supported. And you are where you're meant to be, exactly where you're meant to be. So don't freak out and think you should be doing something else. This is where it's at. And you're doing so well. We are doing so well. We've made it. We have arrived. Even though I can't hear and I might be shouting, my kids keep saying, stop shouting, Mom. And I'm going, what? Turned into that old granny. But we've arrived. We've made it. So peace. Thanks for watching. That's it. And that's all. I'm going to go lie down now. But thank you for watching, and we'll chat soon.